Gather close and listen well. This is a story of deliverance, a story of how the Almighty stretched forth His hand and rescued His people from the mighty hand of Pharaoh. Like the hunter who chases the gazelle, Egypt chased after Israel. But the Lord of hosts fought for His children. The sun burned hot over the desert. Thousands of feet pressed against the dry sand, men, women, children, the people of Israel leaving the land of Egypt behind. Their faces were tired but hopeful. They had seen the power of God in Egypt, the plagues, the signs, the wonders. Yet still, fear lived in their hearts. But behind them came the thunder, Pharaoh's army. The ground began to tremble. Dust rose behind the chariots. The soldiers shouted, their spears glittering under the sun. The people looked back, and terror gripped them like a cold wind. Moses, the Egyptians are coming. Did you bring us here to die in the desert? Were there no graves in Egypt? Said one of the Israelites. Why did we ever leave? We will be trapped here, the sea before us, Pharaoh behind, said another Israelite. Their cries rose into the sky, full of fear and despair. But Moses stood firm. His face was steady, his eyes on the horizon. Do not be afraid. Stand firm, and you will see the deliverance the Lord will bring today. The Egyptians you see now, you will never see again. The Lord Himself will fight for you. Be still, said Moses. As night fell, darkness covered the land. The army of Egypt camped near the sea, their torches flickering in the distance. But between the two camps, the angel of the Lord moved, a pillar of fire and cloud, standing between the oppressor and the oppressed. To the Egyptians, it was a wall of darkness. But to the Israelites, it shone like the morning sun, lighting their path through the night. Moses stood at the edge of the sea, his staff raised high. The wind began to rise, slowly at first, then stronger and stronger still. The sea began to tremble. The waters shook and lifted like mountains. The wind howled through the night, and the Red Sea, the mighty Red Sea, parted before their eyes. Mother, look, the water, it stands like walls, yelled a little boy. Yes, the waters stood tall, one wall on the right, one on the left, and in between, a path of dry ground appeared. The people began to move. Step by step, they walked through the sea. The mothers held their children close. The elders leaned on their staffs. Their hearts trembled, but not with fear this time, with awe. But Pharaoh's heart was still hard. He shouted to his soldiers, "After them! Chase them into the sea!" And so the army of Egypt followed, chariots, riders, and foot soldiers, all charging into the path God had opened. They rode deep into the sea path, but suddenly, confusion struck them. The Lord looked down from the pillar of fire, and chaos filled the camp of Egypt. Our wheels, they are stuck. Turn back. The God of Israel fights against us, cried out an Egyptian soldier. Then, the voice of the Almighty spoke again. Moses stretched out his hand over the sea. And the waters returned with fury. The sea walls came crashing down, swallowing the chariots, the riders, and the mighty soldiers of Egypt. The waves rolled over them until not one of Pharaoh's men was left alive. Just as our elders say, when the river rises, the crocodile cannot escape. Then came the dawn. The children of Israel stood upon the other shore, safe, free, and filled with wonder. Behind them lay the sea that had swallowed their enemies. Before them stretched the road to the promised land. Moses lifted his voice in praise, and Miriam, his sister, took up the tambourine. The women danced, the men sang, and their song rose to the heavens. The Lord is my strength and my song. He has become my salvation. Therefore, remember this story. When the road ends and the mountains rise before you, remember what the Lord did at the Red Sea. He is the God who makes a way where there is no way. He is the one who fights for his people. As our elders say, the road may end, but God can cut a new path through the rock. May this story remind you that no sea is too deep, no enemy too strong, and no night too dark for the power of the Almighty.